This is Social Realities with Dr. Med. Let's get it cracking. Y'all, I know I'm not the only one whose head has been shaking since Saturday night after watching Love and Marriage Huntsville part two of this raggedy, trifling, low vibrational episode. And I also got the tea about the additional videos where clips were left out, where they go into even more detail around this whole notion of grooming and making these kinds of assumptions that, people are of a certain type of lifestyle or a certain set of experiences. And I just wanted to put my 2 cents in, actually my $5, because I ain't got no 2 cents, honey. It's always paper. It's paper. Okay. So let me put in my paper. My paper say that if Melody wanted to slob on a knob, that's her business. Okay. She's a wife in covenant with a man who she was married to. So the fact that it even came out lets you know how low down those folk are. Because the first thing I would have asked any of my girlfriends if I was sitting in that space is, why did you stay and why were you watching? And maybe they want to get off on it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my other issue, is that Black folk, we are so uptight. Like, we are so highly wound when it comes to sex. We are so highly wound. And I'm triggered and I'm highly wound about that notion, because there is a lot of, always wanting to blame women, or always wanting to have these expectations that women can't have their own sexual desires and fantasies, and that they can't make them happen unless they're whores. And that's bullshit. She was married to that man. If she wanted to slob on a knob like corn on a cob, check in with me and do your job. Okay. All right. Sorry. That's my jam. I'm sorry. That's my jam. I just don't feel like the Black community offers a space to be free, because we so busy worrying about whether Melody did it or not. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, I have questions, right? But I mean, they're not about that. It is not about what's going on with them. It's what's going on with the other people. Like, first of all, like, what made you so comfortable that you would ask your wife to do that in front of your friends, unless that's some shit you've been doing before? Okay. That's number one. And number two, if I was a woman, there's no way in heck that would have went down. I'd be like, girl, if that's something that made me uncomfortable and we're in a car, I'd be like, I'm sorry, but y'all need to take that to the hotel room or something, because this ain't finna go down like that. You know what I mean? But even if they weren't, and they all were into it and enjoyed it, and they watched, and they took videos, and they ate popcorn, and they played games while she was slobbing, whatever. It's their business. But the fact that somebody brought that to the stage, national stage, after all these conversations about integrity and trying to keep things above board, and not trying to always blame people, but you're just trying to keep it real. Well, let me tell you what's real. Okay, what's real is whatever happens in a marriage, when it comes to sex, is people's business. The bedroom is undefiled. Okay. So that means that car was sanctified for that head, if that's where she wanted to do it. Okay. If everybody agreed to it, then she had the right to do that. And I'm tired of people always trying to, especially Black women, always try to shame other Black women about the choices they make when it comes to sex and sexuality. Worry about your own stinking coochie. Worry about your own stuff. How about that one? But moreover, let's talk about this, and let's look at this perspective. And I think the reason we're so uptight and we don't even understand it as Black women, but I got a great story, and it's going to be quick. I went to predominantly white colleges my entire time in education. And when I was in undergrad, I was what you would call a savage. I was like Huey Ida Newton. Okay. I was like Henrietta Newton. Okay. Or Harriet Newton, whatever you want to call me. And this white guy asked me one day, he was like, how come you don't date none of us? How come you don't like us? Why don't you give us a chance? And I said to them, you stole it for so long. Why would I ever give it to you? If you want to know what it's like, ask your great grandpappy, because they stole it, but you won't be getting none over here. I say that story because Black women are the least protected women on this earth. We have literally been transported from multiple continents. Okay. Our bodies didn't even belong to us. Our legs were forced open. We were giving birth to children we didn't even want. So why are we having an attitude about a black woman who's going to do what she wants to do with her body? Why are we still checking women about their bodies any damn way? Mind your business. Maybe if you got a little more ding ding or some vagina, you wouldn't be so damn uptight. Get the stick out your ass and worry about your life and your vagina and keep it clean and keep it moving. I hear a lot of commentary around it as if, oh no, well, maybe they undercover freaks. What does it matter? Y'all, we have been property of other people for too long to be fucking checking each other about what we decide to do with our own bodies. As long as she wasn't harming anybody else or harming herself, then it's her business. That's the end of that subject. Now on to the scallywags that wanted to make this a big deal on national TV. I don't think they fully understand at this point that this is where the social reality hits the reality road, because the social reality is all this shit was just videotaped. You all, in essence, as a collective, sat on a stage and berated your coworker under her fucking clothes. You literally had stuff to say about stuff she was doing in the privacy of her own bedroom. I don't ever recall Mel talking about nobody's bedrooms and what they were doing behind closed doors. I don't ever recall that. Even when they had, even if she had conversations with Kimmy about Maurice, I don't ever remember her being inappropriate like that. So to be that damn disrespectful, but I'm not surprised, because I understand the psychology of people like Destiny, because she will always be a side piece, because she always feels like she can never be a main course. Like, if you could be a main course, it's just some things you don't do. I have male friends. Like, I have some male friends that are whores. Okay. And when I tell you, I check them hoes at the door, and my female friends, but my male friends that want to cheat on their wife and do shit like that, first of all, I'm gonna let you know from jump, there's only but so much of a relationship I'm gonna have with somebody like that, because I question your integrity. But because I'm not self-righteous, if you're a good person, I'm going to still entreat you. And if you have good qualities, okay, that might not be the quality that I necessarily think is the most appropriate one to have. However, I'm not judge and jury. And as long as you keep this shit out my space, as long as you never implicate me in your bullshit, and as long as you never put me in a situation where I have to lie to your wife, we good. Any of those things happen, it's on and popping. Life is complicated, and sometimes we love people we love, and we're friends with people who ain't no good, ain't shit. Everybody got ain't shit people in their family, but you still love them, right? But you have to create these boundaries. And the fact that Destiny has no boundaries, because at this point, after the field day, I would have had a conversation with my friend Martell saying, look, we can catch our friendship back up, but I'd be damned if I'm be on national TV standing next to your trifling ass after you just check this woman about what she was doing in a backseat of a car when you got a whole woman pregnant while your wife was pregnant. How dare you? You need therapy and Jesus, and you need some medication and a couch. That would be my conversation. I'll check you out later, and just maybe we could hang out again, but you need to grow up. I mean, you have to be willing to risk relationships when it comes to your respectability, when it comes to your boundaries, when it comes to your moral compass. I can't judge other people. My philosophy is, as long as your shit don't ever get in my stuff, as long as your dirt stays at your house, don't bring no roaches to my damn house. Don't bring no shit, no drama to my house. Don't bring nobody coming up in my house that's untrustworthy and low down. We not playing on them games. And if I see any of that on you, it's a wrap. But I will say that the South is complicated, and a lot of it is still very much tied to the enslaved mentality. Everybody's on a come up. Everybody's trying to get something. Everything is transactional. And that's what we're watching. We're not just watching like people just decide to be trifling. We're watching generations of people who've been told that they have to suffer to be successful, that they have to, abide by the rules that are laid down by the head of their household. I'm sorry. I broke out of that. I broke from that curse of bondage a long time ago. I'm sorry. Gender roles, sex roles, all these titles we have are just social constructions. And when we decide to put them shits on a pedestal, that's why we keep looking at people thinking they're on pedestals and they sitting on a footstool. They think that they're looking down at us, but we looking down at them because they sitting on a footstool. They ain't on no damn pedestal. And so we need to be more vigilant about protecting and respecting women's decisions. So missed me with the was she a freak and all this other kind of shit. She was doing what her husband wanted her to do when he wanted to do it, if that's the case. And if it's not the case, it's not the case. But the reality is, even if it was, that conversation shouldn't have lingered that long. But clearly it lingered that long because she was shocked, because she didn't expect anybody to say some shit like that out of their mouth, which made it an even more hostile environment, because you should have had a conversation with her behind closed doors if you were going to bring something like that up to a reunion and say, listen, I'm just going to let you know this person is accusing you of this. They're saying that you were doing this and that. We let people say what they need to say. We just want you to know in advance. But they don't, because they don't mind lies, and they don't mind libel, and they don't mind, outlandish stories. Anything for clout, anything for attention. And it's about to get that shit shut down. And in a minute, OWN is about to be called Mel. Okay? And Love and Marriage Huntsville are going to be replaced with 7th Avenue Beauty. And this is going to be about a beauty conglomerate by this black woman who left her trifling ass husband because he had the nerve to have a baby on her during COVID. And she couldn't stay in the town she was in because all the women were mad that she was making a decision to choose herself over her husband, and over what people perceive to be the perfect family. Now that's a juicy ass story, and she about to write one, and it's about to be on the Mel Network. Because I don't know what's going on with CK from Burger King, but he needs to have a seat. Like, he's so out of control and out of pocket. Like, this is so inappropriate, y'all. At the end of the day, this is still people working. This is still their jobs. And I'd be damned if my supervisor going to ask me about slobbing somebody's knob. And I'd be damned if one of my coworkers is going to sit in my face and ask me about me sucking my man's thing in a limousine, and I not get up and bust somebody in the head with a chair. Or I'll see your asses later in court and I won't work again. How about that? Okay, I got it out. I hope I got it all out. This was very troubling, y'all. Very disheartening, very troubling. But anyway, I'll be back to my normal, try to keep it together, critique without cruelty self. Until then, social realities with Dr. Med. Deuces.